Check. Today we're going to talk about procrastination. Procrastination is hands down the biggest enemy of success. And most people never get started due to procrastination. You know, they want to put things off till tomorrow, till next week. But I always say, why put off for tomorrow what can be done today? And I struggle with this. Everybody struggles with it. But some of us can ignore the pain of wanting to put something off and just get to it and some turn off that mindset where it's like, all right, I'm not going to do it today, but I'll get to it eventually. If you can turn that off, you can really get a lot more done than you believe. And that's one skill that has helped me to face my fears and to do things, because procrastination, when you take a real good look at it, it doesn't come from a place of laziness or ill intention. A lot of the times it comes from a place of fear, and we just so unsure about things that we've never done, and just the outcome not being clear is enough to keep most people stagnant, and never taking a chance and finding out what it looks like to actually do the thing. So how I combat that is just like shutting that part of my brain off, and I have a lot of things I'm working towards right now. And a lot of the time when I think of what I have to do to get there and all the unknowns, my heart starts to beat fast, like I get anxiety. So I already know it's something that is just instilled inside of us when we're doing something that we're unfamiliar with. There's a lot of unknowns, and yeah, there's always a chance that things won't go right. But if you always dwell on the negative, and never consider what the upside potential is, you're gonna limit yourself in everything you do in life. And just being able to turn that part of your mind off, it can work wonders for you, and it can make miracles happen in your life. And that's what I do every single morning. I get up and I say, fuck it. Let's get it. I get ready. I hype myself up to go do the things that I'm unsure of and scared to do because I've never done them. And I know I can lay out a step-by-step blueprint to how to get to the end goal. And one trick I could say is to really meditate on the worst case scenario. When you can do that and just play it out in your head before you actually do it, and see what the end scenario looks like at its best and at its worst, you can calm yourself down as long as you know that you can live with the worst case scenario playing out. And I do that with myself all the time when it comes to a lot of the ventures and ideas that I have, because a lot of the time it comes down to money. And it's like, all right, well, if I don't have the money, how do I get the money? What am I going to do if I lose the money? And those are the things that really hold people back. But when I play things out in my head, and I can always remind myself, maybe my experience is a little bit different than most, but I've been to the bottomless pits. I've been in dungeons. I've been in hell on earth most of my life. So when I compare a worst case scenario to anything I'm doing in life today to what I've been through in the past, and I was okay when I was in those situations and still able to wake up and put a smile on, then the worst case scenario for whatever it is we worry about out here, just remember there's always somebody who's doing worse than you, or who's going through something a lot worse than what we're worried about in our daily lives. Even when it comes to losing money, like 5, 10, 15,000, if you had to take out a loan and you couldn't pay the loan back, bro, your credit renews every 8 years. You got another chance. Losing money, you could still wake up the next day and go try to get it back, and start from scratch. I done started from scratch 3 or 4 different times in my life, and I'm only 32 years old. And I look at where I'm at today and what I was able to accomplish over the past 2 years from starting from scratch again at 30 years old. And I did more than most people in their 40s and 50s did. In 2 years, I was able to do it. So like losing out on a period of my life due to being in prison, spending 6 or 7 years behind bars and losing everything I had built up when I was in my early 20s, that didn't stop me from getting even further than I was before I went to prison in less time. So what are we afraid of? Yeah, I didn't have all the answers when I came home, and I didn't exactly know how things was going to play out, but all I did was face my fears each and every day and wake up and keep putting one foot in front of the other. Even when things were unclear, even when I was worried, I done took losses. I just took a crazy loss like a month ago. I lost 150,000 in a real estate deal. Most people won't tell you about the losses. They only want to showcase the wins. But you know, that's a depressing thing to think about, and it did have me in a real deep funk for a long period of time. Just knowing that I was facing that loss, I knew about it before it happened, and just the 6 months leading up to actually realizing the loss was a struggle for me. But now that it's over, what doesn't kill us only makes us stronger. And I came back with a better plan, and I'm ready to get this shit going. I'm ready to crush this shit again. I'm ready to start from scratch again. And whatever I was able to do in the past 2 years, starting from here, if this is my scratch zone, I'm doing a lot better already than I was when I started from scratch 2 years ago, because I got more than I had then, even though I took a loss. So yeah, you lose something, but you always gain something in return. You know, whether it's skills, relationships, greater understanding, better experience. As a businessman today, the person I am today compared to 2 years ago, I'm a fucking shark. I'm a margle. I'm shrewd with this shit. Motherfuckers can't play me. Motherfuckers can't tell me nothing. And I only got to this point, and it's not coming from a place of being egotistical and being arrogant and thinking I know best and knowing better than everyone else. It's coming from a place of confidence. Because I've been able to survive in business the past 2 years through the ups and downs, and it's finally starting to click. You know, and they say most businesses don't become profitable until like year 3, and most businesses fail within the first few years. You know, so the reason for the high failure rate, due to quitters and due to people who never get started or who can't face their fears long enough to actually realize their dreams and make them their reality. You know, but this is the turning point. This is the fork in the road, year 2, right? Year 3, when it's like, I'm going to either go back to what I had before and where I started, or I'm going to keep going down this road I've been traveling on and just see what comes of it. You know, the pressure is what makes the diamonds. And I could see myself slowly but surely being molded into my greatest form thus far. 32 years old, diamond in the rough. Ain't never had nothing handed to me, right? Only thing I ever had was a dollar in a dream, and I didn't even have the dollar, so it was really just a dream. But I'm good with turning nothing to something, so you know we gonna make a dime in a 10 and 1 in a 2, nigga, every chance we get, you heard? But the main thing is knowing how to recognize when you having the thought of avoidance. And that's the first step to being able to do something about it. You can't even begin to do something about it if you're not aware that the thought exists or that there's a problem that exists. You know, when you can admit that maybe you've done this in the past, and most of us have. You know, I procrastinated probably through my whole teenage and into my early 20s. You know, but there's one day when, you know, sometimes you just got to take a stand. You got to stand for something or fall for anything. And once I made the choice to take a stand, I was only able to get stronger in the area of avoiding procrastination by recognizing those moments when I do feel weak and I have those thoughts. You know, and we go through ebbs and flows in life. So there's periods of times where, yes, I still do procrastinate, but I'm quicker to recognize it and pull myself up and check myself and get back to it than I was before. You know, like if I go through a period of, like, for example, 2-3 weeks where I find myself just scrolling and thinking about social media too much just to avoid doing the work that I know I got to do, and every 10-15 minutes or every hour or two I just want to pick up my phone and just see what's going on in the world, I got to check that. And you know what I do? I immediately put a plan in place and I take action. And I say, every time I have that thought, I'm going to check myself, and I'm not doing the thing that I think about wanting to do. And that's all it is. I still have the thought. The thought is still there. I'm able to recognize it and acknowledge it, but I don't act on it. You know, and that's what allows me to be more productive. And then when I get into these zones where I'm just like tunnel vision focused, nobody could bother me. And people be like, yo, where he go? Why ain't he respond to me? Yo, he ain't on social media liking my shit no more. He must not fuck with me. Nah, bro, I'm just focused. You know what I mean? Like, I got to get to where I'm going. And it's no easy feat. I got to climb this fucking mountain. You know, and I don't give a fuck who's coming with me or not. I don't give a fuck who understand it or not. I ain't got nothing to explain it on, but I know my purpose and I know my mission, right? And procrastination is the enemy of my mission. So anything that leads to procrastination or any habit that I begin to build that is a form of procrastination, I have to immediately cut that out. You know, and yeah, sometimes it takes being a little more disciplined than you would like to be. Like, I don't got a life right now. I don't go outside. I ain't been out the house in a month. And it feel like being in prison, but it's okay. You know why? Because I know my purpose and I know what it's for, right? And it's not the time to celebrate right now. It's not the time to have holidays and birthdays and be partying and living it up, because I haven't reached my goal and I haven't got to where I'm headed yet. But when I do, best believe we're going to celebrate. But you got to set your bar for yourself, and you got to be stern enough to reach for that bar and beyond it, and not be satisfied with anything less, especially when you know your worth. If you're capable of doing something because you have intelligence, or you have a gift or a skill, and you don't um put your best effort forth to try to make that thing your reality, that's haram boy. You a haram boy. You know, and if you know, you know, and if you don't, you don't. But you know, it's forbidden to be that way, right? When you can add so much value to the world, but you don't do so out of fear, procrastination, or laziness. You know what I mean? We all need to do more and be more, not only for ourselves, but for the community, for our people, you know, because if there was more people who was contributing to our communities, right, we have more access. We have a lot more to work with, and we have a lot more opportunity for not only ourselves, but for the people we leave behind or who come after us. You know, I think about the youth because growing up, I didn't have role models that did anything positive. I didn't have a place that I could go to, or an outlet where I could relieve stress, or you know, distract my mind from some of the things we deal with in our home settings as kids growing up, the way some of us grow up. And I always told myself that if I'm ever in a position to be able to help the next person, or to be able to give one of the young ones an opportunity, or someone to look up to, man, you know, that's from where they from, and that act the way they act, and that understand the way they are, but ain't teaching them the wrong things, and just giving them motivation, inspiration, and hope, to dream big and to be something. You know, be something great, to be great every single fucking day you wake up. You know, because most of us, we don't even realize our greatness, and we don't even understand who we are. And it took me a long time to really realize that, and to not give a fuck about what anybody else think. But now that I do, ain't nothing that could stop me, boy. I'm going straight to the top with it. You know, and the same thing I see inside myself, I see it in a lot of different people, but the problem is not that I see it in them. The problem is that they don't see it in themselves. So before I can help anybody else, you know, most definitely I got to help myself. And even when I help myself, and after I get that far, you know, it's not a guarantee that I'll ever be willing to help anybody else who ain't willing to help themselves. You know, you did. But yeah, that's the bill for today. I want y'all to stay sharp, stay focused, man. If you got a plan, put it down on paper, man. You got an idea in your head, man. Manifest that. First step to manifestation is having a blueprint. What's a blueprint? It's just something on paper. That's all. Anything that manifests itself in reality starts out with a blueprint. It started out as an idea in somebody's head, and then they put it on paper. Any building, any car, any object, you know, this is the step, this is the method. You know, step by step booklet for you to get your game on track. Get with it or get lost. You heard? We in here, we out here, we doing everything they said we couldn't do. We being everything they said we wouldn't be. You know, and I want every one of y'all, right? If you like it, comment, post, give me some feedback. Any subjects y'all want to hear about related to business, stock market, I could talk on it all. I'm well versed. Not because I'm a know-it-all, but because I took the time to learn the things and study the things that interest me, right? And I always told myself I'm gonna be a mogul. I'm gonna be a visionary. I'm gonna be that businessman that, you know, own multiple assets and generating passive income and ain't gotta work like a slave for the rest of his life. You know, so like this is what I've done for the past 8-9 years, is just take the time to educate myself and understand and put into practice things that help me to be successful today, right? And I can only speak on what I've actually applied, because if you learn things and don't apply it in your life and you have no proof that it works, there's no point in talking about it, you know. So yeah, there's a lot of things that information that I've dissected through the past years and kind of discarded because I didn't put it into practice and it really wasn't sound and it really didn't work. So like the only thing I can ever encourage and educate another person on is things that I actually know hands down 100% work. And that's the advice I have to give, and that's the game I'm giving away every single fucking day. So let's go, man. Let's get motivated and let's go into 2025 strong. You know, let's finish off strong with 2024 and really, really, really dig down deep inside yourselves and try to figure out your purpose. Once you understand that, you'll stop giving a fuck about trying to please others and worrying about where your next meal is going to come from. If you can't wake up every single day and be happy and be fulfilled by doing the thing that you desire to do most, then you're just not thinking hard enough. Because it can be, you know, it can happen. It can be your reality. Because I'm making mine my reality. And if you would have asked me how this was going to happen or when it was going to happen years ago, I would have had no clue. And I was just clueless. And it's been a thought that I meditated on for years before I could come to a place of understanding my place in this world and what my purpose is. And your purpose should never be anything other than what makes you happy, right? So in the beginning, it should never have a dollar amount attached to it. And even if it start off as a side hustle where you got to go to that job and work that job every single day that you hate so much, and you got to do that for a period of a few years and take your spare time to build and develop whatever it is makes you happy, then do that. And when you build up enough courage, you can walk away from that job confidently and know that the thing that makes you happy will carry you forward in life. And that was the biggest single moment that was a game changer in my life, was having the courage to walk away from the consistent check in order to figure out my purpose and chase my dreams and realize them, right? And I ain't even gonna say much yet, but just pay attention, because it's coming real soon. And I'm gonna take the world by storm with it. You heard? You know, never a dull moment, man. Through the ups and downs, life is a roller coaster, man. Get on or get off. Nah, but yeah, just show me some love, man. I'm doing this for the hood, for the streets, for the gutter, for the motherfuckers coming up, you know, who deserve to be heard and to be understood, man. Because, you know, most of us coming from where we coming from, we just misunderstood, and people underestimate us. Let's just say that. So this is bigger than just me. This is to show the world who the fuck we really are and what the fuck we capable of. And more of us should think like this. Look yourself in the mirror and know your worth. And understand your value, the value that you bring to everything you do in this world. And if somebody else don't see that fucking value, cut them off. Get them out of here. They don't belong in your life. And that's another thing, you know, one of the other best things I decided to do over the past year was get the motherfuckers out of my life who don't deserve to be in it, because they don't see my worth and they don't appreciate my value, the value that I bring to everything that I do. The Mr. King of everything, you know. But that's neither here nor there. We just gonna end it with that. And rubs hands. You already know what that is. It's coming soon.